Hello, hello. Good morning if you're in the UK. Good afternoon, good evening if you're somewhere else. Welcome to the stream. So, I've been streaming all week basically with my goal to try and beat Elden Ring in under 1 hour without the use of glitches. This is all practice, so we're way away from actually completing a run, let alone getting anywhere close to the time that we need. So this stream is going to be routing and practice basically. So I have split Elden Ring down into 3 20-minute sections. That was how I decided to practice to complete the hour run. So we have kind of finished routing and practice on section 1 and 2. That by no means is meaning that we are perfect. We're still about 50-50 with a lot of the bosses and a lot of the skips in both of those sections. But we're currently practicing section 3. So we started for the first time yesterday routing and practicing section 3. One sec. Sorry, we started routing and practicing section 3 yesterday for the first time. We got as far as Malekith. So what I'm going to do today is going to start the stream by going right back to the beginning of section 3, which is Fire Giant. And we're going to work our way, hopefully quickly, but however long it takes, until we get to after Malekith, and then we're going to carry on the practicing and the routing, which means it's only Gideon, Godfrey and Horalu, and then Radagon and Elden Beast, and that's the end of the run. So we are making progress slowly but surely. So we'll start with section 3. That said, Fire Giant is definitely the most difficult boss of this run and the most inconsistent. So, and that's where we start section 3, so we could be stuck there for a little while. But let's get into it. So the reason Fire Giant is the most difficult boss is basically the hitbox for his weak spot is incredibly janky, and basically you have to hit the weak spot on every single hit, otherwise the scripting doesn't work. You can miss it once of all the kind of like 7 hits that you have to get. So anyway, let's do it. Wasn't too bad for the first practice run of the day. Basically there was I missed a charged R2 and I just did a regular R2 and that was it. Otherwise we would have had that one. Just by the way, I have got like backup save states, so that's what I'm doing when I'm tabbing around, is I'm reloading my save states to get back to the run. The reason I do that is because basically some of the materials that you need for the run are limited. So if I die to a boss, I'll run out of bleed grease, for example. The whole run would have to end. So I've got a backup save state with the right amount of bleed grease at the start of every boss, so we can at least carry on with the practice. Obviously when I come to doing an actual run, we won't be using any of that. that was perfect in terms of inputs, but we missed the weak spot. What's going on here? And that's why the scripting didn't work. That's what I mean about how specific this fight is. And imagine on a speedrun, obviously one chance only. Don't underestimate the skill of these speedrunners, I'm telling you. So I have practiced the fire giant a lot. Even might not look like it, but maybe for sort of 5 hours just practicing fire giant. However, from here, Faramazula. Oh, Jesus Christ! I haven't really practiced it much at all. Now, what do I can't. 51. Yes. So Faramazula or Azula is a big running section. Then they've got obviously Godskin Duo, which is a fairly good, fairly well scripted fight. There's a couple of skips as well in Faramazula that I'm not great at. And then, but the section in theory isn't that difficult with practice, obviously. My goal was to try and get by Friday, be able to attempt to run, which will be very scrappy. You know, we're talking maybe an hour and a half, maybe longer. That was the goal, and I think we might be slightly ahead of that. Anyway. I don't really know where I'm going too much here, so you'll have to bear with. You can tell I'm not very well practiced with the bow cancels. are a couple of safety graces that I might get. Was a fairly smooth run, actually. There's a lot of little menu and things like that that I'll need to practice as well. Take that. This bit I'm not great at. Oh, I'm nervous. My heart rate's going. Now, I don't actually know if that talisman is necessary. Just checking that I wasn't fat rolling. Now I'm going to take this grace for safety. Just because there is there's a little skip coming up in a second that I'm not brilliant at. There you go. So annoying because they make that skip look so easy. What did I need to do? Dusting off the cobwebs, gang, don't worry. Let's actually, so let me put these back on. Just quickly testing something. So that's heavy, that's medium. Okay. So, okay. Don't know why I got those. Okay, so what we're gonna do on this... Oh, you bastard. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna go like this. See, I don't think this talisman, the Dragon Crest Shield talisman, is necessary, but I also kind of feel that, like, as much damage negation as I can get whilst I'm practicing is not going to be a bad thing. Jesus. Well, this isn't this doesn't make me look very professional, does it? That's more like it. Right, so we are going to... Thank you, stream bot, so that where I can get more viewers. Oopsie. Get the quit out and quicker as well, that would definitely help with this section. So funny, man, like whenever I run this game or whenever I try and complete a run, there'll be something that'll happen that's never happened before. And I'll get kind of stuck at a section that I've never been stuck on before. So it just shows how much practice needs to go in to get consistent. Oh, we got the quit out at least. Hey, Rex, you're back. How are you? Yeah, man. I'm good. Didn't have the best night's sleep because my kids, on Wednesdays, my wife goes to work really early. And I've got two young kids. One is 4 and one is 1. So on Wednesdays I basically field the kids throughout the night because my wife, she has to get up at 5 in the morning. So I'm a little bit tired because the kids kept me up. My 1-year-old is, you know, he wakes up probably 4 times every night. And that's my excuse as to the standard of gameplay this morning. Oh, we got both bow cancels. No, so I don't actually work from home. I run a gym normally, but I had some surgery on my foot. Only routine, but I had some surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I'm recovering. And that's... oh my god. And that's why I've been streaming all week, basically. So normally I stream after work in the evenings here in the UK, and I can only sort of stream for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. But I had a 2-week recovery period after the surgery, and I decided I'm going to go ham on the streaming for these 2 weeks, ham on the practice to try and reach my goals, basically. Right, do you know what I'm going to do? Because this is stressing me out. So I'm going to create a save state at the top of this thing so we can practice it easier. So basically, I used to play football when I was a kid, and I repetitively damaged my toes through the football. I basically got arthritis. Hold on. Basically got arthritis in my toes. And what had happened is that aggravation of the arthritis had caused extra bone to grow on my knuckle. Where's the camera? On this knuckle of my big toe. And that was making it difficult for me to walk, basically, because my toe wouldn't bend properly. So they basically sliced me up and shaved it off, which wasn't very pleasant. And I'm still not really walking very well now. Yeah, well, it is sort of called a bunion. What it's actually called is a bone spur, this one, but it's very, very similar to a bunion. And I think the surgery is even called like a bunionectomy even. So yeah, in short, yes. Yeah, so they basically, I've got to wear a special boot. I can't really show you. I've got to wear a special boot for 8 weeks. And I've got to be at home, raised my foot, so I've got a little stool under my computer desk. I've got to have it raised up for 2 weeks, basically. But yeah, it was really, really painful. It's much better now because this is like I'm midway through the 2nd week now. Oh, we did it. Yeah, I've never had surgery before, so I was really anxious about the anesthetic for some reason. Like the thought of getting knocked out really stresses me out. So what they did is they actually gave me a spinal injection that made me numb from the waist down, so that I didn't have to get knocked out. But yeah, do not recommend. 0 out of 10. Right, I can't remember where I got to on my stream yesterday, Rex, but I don't think I'd got as far as... I don't know, I think I'd rather watch myself get cut open than get knocked out. To be fair though, so they gave me sedative, and then I fell asleep anyway. So the guy, he injected me in the back, and then as soon as I started losing the feeling in my legs, before I even went to the actual surgeon, the guy was like, do you want me to give you a sedative to chill you out? Because obviously you're just going to be lying there while you're in surgery. I said, yeah, give me as much as you can. And he said, all right, but so he gave me like some sedative and I just fell asleep. So, and I woke up like after it was all wrapped up, so. Right. Yeah, sorry, I was saying I don't know where we got to on the stream yesterday, Rex, but I don't think I'd done this boss yet, but I did some practice last night, so hopefully we don't get too stuck on this one.
Approacheth destined death. I will not extol again.
Look at that. That's what it's supposed to look like. Wow. So both my kids were born by C-section. And the first one was an emergency C-section, so my wife got into difficulty and she had to have an emergency surgery, and it was horrendous. Super stressful. But because of that, we could have what's called an elective C-section with the second, which is effectively we just chose to do it because my wife's like, I don't want to end up in danger again, obviously. So, where the second one, it was like you just booked in like you were just going for a hotel stay. We just booked ourselves in, got a taxi there. It was all very pleasant. Yeah, but both times she was awake, so they just... Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is just create a save state. Yeah, they're both fine. Yeah, it was the first one, the one that had the emergency C-section was so basically like he got stuck. I don't really I won't go into the details, but he got stuck and that's why they had to get him out. So he was losing oxygen. And when he was out, they obviously had to do a few extra tests on him just to make sure he was like fine. And they measure I can't remember the name of it. It's lactate, I think is the name of it. Or basically, they measure a certain chemical in the blood, which appears in the blood when you lose oxygen. And so he was born, and they measured the amount of lactate in his blood, which indicated how long he'd been without oxygen. And basically, I can't remember exactly, but it was like he had 7 units in, and if it gets to 8, then it causes like brain damage for life. So he had, but he was absolutely fine. So yeah, he's a nightmare now. He's 4 years old now, and he is a nightmare, but in a great way. Just very, he's very naughty, let's say. Right, so where we're at now is we're about to attempt Gideon, and I have never even tried this one before. So I'm just going to turn my light down because my face is very washed out. It's got a really shiny head here, haven't I? Anyway, I've never tried this fight before, so yeah, we'll see. So this is all going to be completely based on what I've watched.
To stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, my fellow.
Interesting.
You fought well until now.
That didn't go very well, did it? So this is another example of a boss that I will, when I do the actual run itself. Oh dear, what's happening here? Oh dear. Right, bear with. I don't know. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Don't know what happened there. So, oh, I missed the. So, basically, I thought he was supposed to speak for a lot longer.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden. What a sad state.
I don't know why he's going straight into
commend your
this.
spirit, but alas, my fellow, you fought well until now.
So on the runs that I've watched, they hit him with the skill, and that doesn't break him out of the monologue. And then they can just cycle around for a backstab. Why would that not work for me? I'm freeze grease.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. We might get high hopes for us.
This is really technically difficult. So Rex, when you that video that you yesterday when you told me about like the how-to guide, that guide says that this fight is the most like technically difficult one. As much as it's short, it basically said it's the most technical one input-wise. So that's what I'm figuring out right now.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord.
Okay. So what you need to do is you need to basically hit him with the art, the follow-up from the weapon art. That's not supposed to knock him out of his speech. You then can do a backstab, and then you should finish with one full skill. And that should end the fight.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs.
Oh, my oopsie. Didn't mean to do that. Right, so what I'm going to try differently is not locking on. So I was locking on thinking that that would kind of like just bring me straight to him for the follow-up. Does that make sense?
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad
Still
state
knocking
of
him out of the
affairs.
speech.
I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Margaret's our hopes for us. At least, my fellow, you fought well until now.
I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to watch one. Actually, should we do it together? Who do we want? We can watch Dist. Okay. So he's got the freeze grease on. He's got the freeze grease on. He does the golden vow.
To stand before the Elden Ring. To become Elden. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit.
Oh god. Oh, this is not good.
What's he doing differently?
To stand before the Elden Ring. To become Elden. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit.
So he's got Marika's Saw Seal on. He's got the freeze grease on, and he's done the golden vow. So what? Why? Is he one-handing?
To stand before
No,
the
he's
Elden Ring.
two-handing.
To become Elden. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit.
Oh god. Oh, this is not.
What's he doing differently?
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord.
Yeah, I've got to hit him first.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord.
Bloody hell.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. It's a sad state of affairs.
We have another go.
Not good.
Sad state to stand before the Elden.
What's that red buff? So if you look at the symbols here, the only difference is he's got this red buff here, and I don't know what that is.
To stand before the Elden.
And it's definitely freezing grease he's using, isn't it? Yeah. Freezing grease, golden vow.
To stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit.
Oh god. Oh, this is not good. Oh no.
I'm confused by this. The only differences that I can think of is I have this talisman on, but look, it doesn't increase your damage, it only increases your damage negation. That's the same buff. Weapon +9, that's correct. He has a different combination of armor, but that doesn't change the damage. He's got that on. He's got that on. Does he take that off? What is that red buff that he... What is that red square? Right, I'm going to try without that one on.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become the Lord. What a sense.
Work. Do you think it's maybe that I'm hitting him from an angle? Do you maybe need to hit him more straight on?
But it an Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your
I don't think that would make a difference.
Oh god. Oh, this is not...
Let's see. Alright, let's try taking it off. Well, I'm going to try taking that off. And then failing that, I'll try working on my angles.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become the Lord. What a sad state of affairs.
Nope. So, okay. This is what I mean about the tutorial videos. It'd be really helpful if someone had a video on this fight and could explain this.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become the Lord. What a sad.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking about what I would need to do to get a better front angle.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become the Lord.
No, so... Okay.
to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord.
Damn it! You know what I'm going to do? Let's just watch exactly where his feet are.
To stand before the Elden Ring.
So he's on that circle, and he's standing on this circle here, and he's angled towards this archway.
Become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs.
That's what we're going to try.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs.
Interesting. Just going to check one more thing. Glitchless. That's the run. He's literally on the same patch as me, 1.07. Let's try. Holy shit! Hold on. That noise is stressing me out. Huh. Right, so freezing grease.
To stand before the Elden Ring.
Freezing grease and golden vow.
To stand before the Elden Ring. To become
Goes on that circle as well.
What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas.
So the only thing I can think of here, the only thing that could be different is whatever this is here. That's the only thing. So that's Golden Vow. Those are our talismans. I don't know what that is. What is that? Okay. I think it's a rune arc, but again, that wouldn't change anything. That wouldn't change anything because it's not affecting the damage output. It's only a buff to that. A rune arc without a great rune, all it does is it increases your health slightly. I'm a bit stuck here, aren't I? Well, I'll tell you what we could try. Is they don't do Golden Vow until they're in the room. I don't know why that would make any difference. But maybe it's because he's got further into his monologue.
To become Elden Lord. It's a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas.
Oh my god.
Shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us. Continue to struggle. My bones are tarnished. Cannot become
We need to clip
a
that.
lord. Not even you.
Do you know what I mean?
Man cannot.
That's
kill
crazy. That is crazy.
God.
So basically, yeah, exactly. So basically, you've got to let him waffle on for a bit longer, is what it seems to be. It seems to be that I was hitting him too early into his speech, because all I did differently there is I used the Golden Vow buff when I was in the room. So basically he'd already started speaking and then I did the buff, because that's what they did differently in the stream. And clearly, obviously, once he gets into his flow, that's crazy. That is so crazy that is the reason that happened. That's, right, 2 to make it true is the rule.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes that will continue to struggle.
So it worked again, but this is where the practice comes in. So basically, there's a very specific angle, supposedly, that you need to start that second weapon art with, otherwise he will roll away like he did there.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. It's a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, she'll take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us. We continue to struggle. My fellow, you've fought well until now.
Yeah, this is interesting.
to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us.
Nice.
My balls. A tarnished cannot become a lord.
So that's when they... Okay. Okay, 2 to make it true.
Before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us, but we continue. No.
2 to make it true.
The tarnished cannot become a lord. Not even you. A man cannot kill a god.
I think that has to be 50. 60, sorry. Let's just make sure we've got the right stats. I'm pretty sure that's right. So there's another time to test this.
She'll take the throne. Queen Marika. No.
So 15, 35, 60. Yep. Okay. Time to make a save state. Cool. So, I think I can remember what this one is. So basically what you want to do, what we're looking to do here is 3 charged R2s and a jumping R1. And you should get an R2 at the very start because it's a scripted opening. So you're looking then for a jumping R1, 2 more charged R2s, that should stagger. Then an R1 when it's staggered, then the riposte, then you're looking for a full skill, a dodge, and then another L2? I think, anyway. That's why we practice, eh? I'm so close to the end. I'm toying with either going back and doing a bit of a run of the second section or just powering through to learn these final few bosses. I wonder whether that boss is another example of like a one attempt only. Pretty sure it will be, because I think that opening move is tied to the cutscene. So if you've already attempted it, and obviously you don't get the cutscene again. That jump in R1, because that seems to be scripted, so if I can get the jump in R1 after the opening R2, then all I need is 2 more R2s. Yeah, it's the same boss. So he is Golden Godfrey, and this is Godfrey. So his moves are slightly different. But if anything, they're slightly easier because he follows up more. And that means that there's more opportunities to punish because you can punish the follow-ups. It's the stamina. It's the stamina that's the problem. But you'll see there's if you haven't seen this boss before, there's a second phase after this one. Stamina this time. Okay. So that tells me that I need to replen my blue before I go into the fight. So I need to do this. Seen how good I am at this moveset before, so I find this one the most stamina managey, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Yeah, this is the one where I need to manage the stamina the most. Can't decide whether locking on or not locking on is the way. Hotness that was. feel like when I get past this phase, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. To learn which attacks. I just need to learn which attacks I can R2 basically. I'm going to try not locking on because I think you can strafe. I think you can avoid the attacks easier when strafing if you're not locking on. Didn't enjoy that. I'm thinking locking. I think locking off is probably better if you're good enough, but I don't think I am good enough. So I think I'll stay locked on. So what's annoying is that like cross swipe he does 1, 2. Sometimes he follows it up with a third, and sometimes he doesn't. So I don't know whether it's punishable until it's too late, really. last time, innit? Thanks. I appreciate that. It's not good enough because I'm still dying. The thing is, I do understand the fight. I do understand the fight. I just can't execute it yet. So yeah, that was that attack there. They're 1-2. He kind of goes, where's the cat? I can never get the camera. Like 1-2. I don't think I'm going to be able to punish it because if he does the third, I'm dead. And if I wait to see if he does the third, I don't have time. Which is annoying. Okay. Yeah. It's just terrible. Basically, it's all the very first R2 kind of sets the tone for the fight. Because if I get that first R2 and the jumping R1 and don't get hit, that's the goal. So we've got to get this R2, jumping R1 and don't get hit. Thought that was it then. think if I lock off, I can get that R2. But am I going to be good enough to lock off mid-fight is the question. Jesus Christ.
Was nobly fought.
It was very complimentary from the boss there. I would not say that was nobly fought. What am I doing? Come on, let's go. It's getting worse.
Was nobly fought.
I don't actually think I need to. You're right, I can, but I've watched so many people do it, and I think the technique is right. It's the execution. I just got to practice. Right, I'm going to go for a quick wee. Give me a sec, I'll be right back, and then maybe we will watch someone else, we'll see. Let me just get it ready. Right, BRB. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. Shall we watch one then? Golden Vow. Yeah, replan. So does he start with an R2 into a jumping R1? R2, jumping R1. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Doesn't hit him. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do anyway. The main difference there is he does lock off, but he's much better than me, so I don't think locking off is going to help me. He does get this beginning very nice here, doesn't he? How's that? I'm definitely open to tips as well. So, yeah, this is a speed run for death, yeah? No one can die quicker than me. See, that was good. Apart from I can't be behind him. So the third R2, and make sure I'm in front of him when I do it, or at least to the side. So one more R2. Missed it. So close. Thought I had it. Slightly concerning is I did hit him with that third R2 then, and it didn't stagger him out of his animation, which I feel like it should have done. for the riposte. And then I need to let my stamina build up enough to do a full skill. Okay? Those are the lessons for those two. But progress, I think. Got to get the jump before he slams early. If you could want to roll after and miss the follow up, which is annoying because in the golden ghost version of this fight, you don't have to do that. So it's an interesting adjustment to have to make. Okay. Better. That notification scared me. I'm not used to getting followers or anything like that, so I couldn't concentrate. But hello. What is going on? What is going on is we are practicing a speed run, and we are on Godfrey / Horaloo. And we have been for about, what, 20 minutes? We are learning the fight, the speedrun strats for the fight. And then obviously it's the final boss after that, spoiler alert if you didn't know that. So we need to learn that fight. And then we will have learnt all the fights for the speedrun. And then it's just a case of putting them all together, which is easy to say. Difficult to do, I imagine. If judging by how difficult this is.
nobly fought.
I didn't have the stamina then. Yeah, Elden Ring is the best game. That's why. It's the ultimate game. What do you mean it's boss final round? Sorry? No. No, we are basically... We're just resetting this boss. Over and over again for practice, basically. With the idea being... My ultimate goal is to complete Elden Ring with no glitches in less than 1 hour. Now, the problem I have is... The world record is like 55 minutes, I think, 54, something like that. So my margin for error is like 6 minutes. And I am a casual gamer. I work full time. I've got 2 kids. So I need to get good enough to only lose 6 minutes. Which would put the run, I can't remember, should we have a look? I think it would put it in like the top. Let's have a look. So these are the runs here. So to do it under a minute, so that's the, so yeah, it'd have to be the top 30 runs ever done, ever. So I don't know whether it's even going to be possible, but we're gonna try. I am from the UK. I'm in London specifically. How about you? Whereabouts in the USA? I love the USA. I've been quite a few times. Well, I don't know if I should tell the truth about these headphones. So I got them for free, but they are very expensive headphones. They're the Sony, I think they're called the Sony MX5 or something like that. They're about £300 or $300. But I got them for free. I was very lucky. I got them gifted to me. But they are one of the fanciest things I own. As well. Mic should be louder and the game should be quieter now. Thank you for that, by the way. I really rely on people telling me, giving me the feedback so I can change it, because I don't know what it sounds like to you guys. Is that better, yeah? So I was just telling Rex, I work in a gym normally. I'm a gym manager and I am an Elden Ring enjoyer. But I had some surgery not last Thursday, the Thursday before, on my foot. So I have been off work for 2 weeks. This is the second week. So I'm back to work on Monday, and whilst I've been off, I've been doing some massive stream marathons to try and do my goal, basically. 'Cause, oh my goodness. Basically, I work full time and I've got 2 kids, so didn't have enough stamina there. I have been streaming for like a month, maybe 2. Yes, it's all very new to me. I don't really understand Twitch either. I've got basically I just I watch a lot of streams. Well, I tend to watch VODs on YouTube, actually, of streams. Mainly Elden Ring, but also other From Software games, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, you know. And one of the streamers that I really enjoy watching, basically, was saying how he would just started streaming because he figured he was playing the game anyway. He might as well stream it. So I thought, yeah, why not? Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so what I actually started doing is I started making YouTube videos because I thought that would be easier than streaming because I wouldn't have the time because of the kids. But what actually happened is making YouTube videos takes fucking ages because you got to film it. And then you've got to edit it and blah, 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 blah. And it was taking so long, I figured, actually, do you know what? I'm just going to stream. And then I'm going to upload all the streams to YouTube, which is definitely not the best way to get engagement because the quality is obviously not great. There's a lot of waffle. The videos are super long. But at least it means I'm constantly getting content out there. and especially like I have a job. I'm not looking like I would love if this became a job, but ultimately I'm doing it for fun anyway. That's all that matters. And I figured like when I do it, when I achieve my challenge of like doing it in an hour, then maybe I will make a YouTube video out of that. Because it might be worth taking the time. And then the idea is I'm then going to move on to a different From Software game and try and do the same thing basically. So the idea is I'm going to beat every From Software game or Soulsborne game in less than 1 hour. That's the idea. Okay, so I can't punish that. Yeah, I love Sekiro. Yeah, I like Sekiro. I've got a love-hate relationship with Sekiro, so I've played it. I've completed it 3 times, and I think it's my favourite in terms of the combat style. But I didn't really enjoy the world as much. Like, I didn't kind of, I don't know, I just didn't vibe with like the Japanese and kind of the design of the game. But in terms of the gameplay and the combat, I think it's my favourite. I don't know, I was thinking of maybe doing Sekiro after Elden Ring. I'm either going to do Sekiro or Bloodborne after Elden Ring, I think. Because both of those will be a lot easier to do it in under an hour. So basically, most of the From Software games, the world record is like 30 minutes. So basically, I just need to put a run together, and I've got half an hour of wiggle room to get it in less than an hour. With the exception of Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring. These are the two where they're really long. But the reason I started with Elden Ring is just, one, because it's my favourite, but 2, it's the most popular game, so I figured I've got a better chance of getting people to watch if I'm playing this game. And also, it should mean that when I then move on to the easier games, it's a lot easier. Stamina, man. Such a difficult fight for stamina. Sorry, one sec. I've played Dark Souls 3 as well, so I've already completed and got like 100% on every From Software game. Dark Souls 3. I wouldn't say it was a lot harder than this, you know. I think for me, the hardest one is the first one. As in the first one you play, not the first Dark Souls. So for me, Bloodborne was my first ever From Software game, and if you've never played this style of game before, you don't understand the mechanics. Oh, for fuck's sake! This isn't going well, is it? I'm trying to do two things at once. Yeah, if you don't understand, if you're new to the timing and all that, then it's like Bloodborne was so hard. But that's what got me hooked, because it was so hard, so that when I achieved it and I got the Platinum Trophy, because this was when I was back on PlayStation, the sense of achievement was so big. It's like adrenaline. Like, that's what got you hooked. I was like, I want to do it again. I want to experience it again. I think the hardest one is Sekiro, however you say it. That's the hardest one. If objectively, like in terms of just all the games, if you're measuring them equally, it's Sekiro for sure. One other thing is I'm not normally the biggest fan of open world games. Yeah, so I'm not normally a big fan of open world games, and the other Dark Souls games and Bloodborne, they're all and Sekiro, all the others basically are all linear, which I quite enjoy because I don't like not knowing where to go or what to do. I like to just be able to follow a path, and I suppose in a way it makes Elden Ring the easiest, because there's no like real roadblocks like in the other games. Because they're linear, if you get to a boss that you can't beat, you can't move on, and you basically either have to grind and level up or practice to get through it. Whereas at Elden Ring, if you get to a bit you struggle with, you can just go somewhere else. And there's a lot more opportunity to level up. Like in this speedrun, for example, you don't even fight your first boss till you're like massively over leveled. But you can't do that in the other games, because there's only the resource that the game gives you. I missed the R1. That's what I was saying to you yesterday, Rex. Like there's people who are good at the Souls games, they just find ways to make every boss as easy as possible. Obviously in a speed run, kind of you just have to do, the run is 100% mapped out. So you basically kind of, there's a lot of skill involved, but like you can't grind up, go and get a specific spell and then cheese it, but cleanest one so far. Well, there you go. That wasn't supposed to play out that way, but that's not the script, but hey ho. Yeah, so there's a streamer, what's his name? Or I think it's no, not Rusty. I can't remember, but there's a streamer that did a a massive stream that was every single boss in the whole of Elden Ring and the DLC, which is, I think there's 207 bosses. He beat every single one of them with one shot. So he changed his build and like optimized his weapons and optimized his buffs, and then beat them with one shot all 207 bosses. So like if you know how to do a good build, the game can be very easy. Right, I'm just going to watch this. Hold on. Because I want to see what the scripting's supposed to be. So I did all this. Like that. Full scale. Full scale. So I just missed the boss basically. So basically that was it. Really. This is correct. I missed a... Why do I keep going to that? I missed a jump in R1, basically. The best RNG. Trouble here. Yeah, stamina.
There was no So that was the script perfectly.
except I run out of stamina. I don't know if you noticed, I was trying to do some animation cancel crouches, but I just didn't get it quick enough. That was diabolical from start to finish. Maybe I was ambitious trying to get to the end today. Ideally, I want to get to the end before lunch, because then after lunch I can break for lunch, then I can come back on the stream, and I'm not going to do any runs, but I could maybe go back to start of section 2. I'd like to actually hit him once. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Oh shit. Didn't replan my blue. I don't know what happened there. I think there was just too long of a gap between, and that's why I didn't stagger. I think the poise meter must have like run out. she. One or two away from doing it then. That was my tummy. Did you hear that? Okay, man. Have a good day. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out again. Hopefully, I'll see you soon. Yeah, man. Me too. But yeah, see you later. Yeah. You too. Come on. I'm feeling good. Did not expect this fight to take this long to practice, to be honest. I figured because the moveset is so similar to the other Godfrey fight that I've already done. Right, this is the one. Come on. The next one is the one. Remember, man. I think I'm just taking too many risks. It's hard though, because if the poise meter is dropping to the point where if you don't get your attacks in fast enough, the script doesn't work. But then if you take too many risks, you get hit. That was improvised and it didn't play out. Oh, come on. Oh, that is well annoying. That's an example of the poise meter running out. work.
Was no
Come on. I feel like I'm really close, you know. Genuinely feel like. Stamina. Not sure if this is right or not. Could be. Oh, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. My goodness me. Stick to the script. So what I did there, chat, is I decided to try a new technique out for some God knows reason. Which I have never practiced before. This is it. To a T if I can get it. That's it. Boom. Now that's the script. Two to make it true. So my own personal rule is if I do it twice in a row, that allows me to move on. So far. That was close as well, man. So it kind of all depends on where I finish. 'Cause I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I don't want to finish too high. I don't want to finish too low. I Basically, I need to finish in front of Horaloo for the riposte. Otherwise, I haven't got time to get around. Do something. Nope. Tight that so basically I've got to get an R1 in before the riposte. Hey Cosmic, how are you? I like that your name's purple. I don't know how to do that. I'm very new to Twitch, so... Well, my whole channel is purple, so... I'm good. We're practicing... to happen. We are practicing for a Elden Ring speedrun, trying to get it in an hour, and I am just learning this boss basically. So you've joined me. I've been on this boss actually for about 45 minutes, basically just learning the scripting for it, but we are getting there. And then I don't know if you know Elden Ring, but after this boss, we're very close to the end. And we've never actually attempted a run because we're still learning, but we are nearly there. It's going okay. To be fair, I am further along than I expected to be. I was hoping that by Friday of this week I would be able to run this game from start to finish, and I think I will be able to do it by tomorrow. It won't be very good, but we can worry about that later. That didn't go very well, to be fair. definitely some RNGesus against me at times in this one. Where are you from? That was close, that. That was very close. I must have missed a hit there somewhere. I feel like I'm just about there, it just needs to click. It didn't click then, did it? I think I missed a hit then, not sure. I'm sweating. All right. That is bullshit. I mean, it's almost certainly a skill issue, but I'd rather just blame the game. ready? I'm good, man. How are you? It was going really well, thanks. I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours and it was going really, really well, but in the last sort of 45 minutes it's been less good. We're practicing Elden Ring speed running and we've been a bit stuck on this boss. I love the game. I've played it many times. This is not a first playthrough situation. But if you haven't played it and you can find a way to play it, you should play it because it's the best game. Have you played it? I don't actually really play any other games, to be honest. Sorry, what's going on over here? I've worked full time and I've got 2 kids, so I don't get a chance to play any games that much. So I tend to just play this one over and over again. Yeah, so normally I stream after work, but I'm actually recovering from some surgery at the minute. So for the whole of last week and this week so far, I've been off work. So, which has been really good for my streaming because basically I've been streaming all day, every day. Yeah, it's been 2 months. One sec. Not long at all, basically. I'm very new to it. I don't really understand... Oh, what's that? I don't really understand too well how Twitch works, if I'm honest. So yeah, I'm just learning, but I just stream for fun. So I appreciate any tips. And if like there's something wrong with the stream or the audio, then let me know. I'm from the UK, so originally I'm from a city called Sheffield, which is in the north of the UK. But I live in London. What about you? How about you? Where are you from? I mean, I appreciate that, but I've been on this boss for like an hour. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Whereabouts in the US are you from? I love the US. Yeah, I mean, if I hit affiliate, then great. But I think what's important to me is just the fun. I think ultimately, if you're having fun and you enjoy playing the games that you're playing and building community and chatting, then the rest looks after itself, right? Like, I would love for this to be like a job, but obviously that happens to like 1% of people. Thanks, man.
Tarnished. Thy strength befits.
Yeah, send the link, man. Discord. Send me the link and then I'll try and set one up. I don't think I have one, which obviously I'm quite new to all this, so. How do you stream? Is that how you built up your community? Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll have to get Discord. I know people. I don't really know. I never really knew what it was or what it's for. Obviously, I know people talk about it, and I guess I kind of understand it's for like chatting away, but I don't really know what the platform is. So let me look into it, and then I can add you. Oh, that is annoying. Might need a break in a bit. Like, this is starting to get a bit frustrating for me. And I have been streaming for 3 hours, so... Proving difficult. Nice. It's a very formal explanation. I guess I just kind of I guess I just assume people would like chat on Twitch chat and stuff. I don't really... I guess, is it a place that you can chat outside of the stream, I guess? I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to finish my stream. And then I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to have a break. So I'm going to take a break at about 12. So then when I'm having that break and have lunch, then I'll have a little look. fatigued, I think. Oh dear, man. Sorry, what want me to do? Yeah, I think my Insta's is it in my. I think my Insta's in my bio. I think it's in my bio. If not, it's just my street. It's Coop the Casual. That's it. So I think that's my my channel name is the same. So you can just add me on there. Right, 5 minutes and then I'm going to take a break. Probably 2 or 3 more attempts. I'll check it when I break, man. Something in my eye. Maybe that's why I'm playing so badly. Right, one more and then I'm done. I think that's enough for me for this morning, gang. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to call it there. I'm going to potentially be back on this afternoon. I've got a few bits I need to do. But if I don't see you, have a good one and thank you for